There's that left leg. Right. Coverage. Ball, does he have control of it?
And, let's roll it back.
We got the Bengals who are starting baked potato at quarterback. Okay, we've got to stop with the Monday Night Football doubleheaders. These probably were the worst games. How do you have two Monday Night Football games and both of them are absolutely dog water? So let's get into both of these games. You had the New York Jets, right, versus the god dang Miami Dolphins, right? Now, first things first, before we get into how awful this game was, because Aaron Glenn's Jets gave up how many? 13 penalties. Lord, it's like, we'll get into it, but it got to a point where it wasn't even funny. Yo, something that's not funny is this right here. Tyreek Hill obviously snapped his leg. Well, it said, some people said dislocated his knee. Some people are saying it's a little bit more serious than that. I'm not going to show the injury. I do have pictures. I'm going to warn you before I even show the picture of the still. I will show you this though. You know what I'm saying? And now some people are saying that he is excited because he does not have to catch balls from Tua Tagovailoa anymore. I don't think that's what it is. As somebody who sadly has had an injury, a serious, not as serious as this. It wasn't as, like I said, I'm gonna show you it. Not as nasty as this, but I tore my ACL, sprained my MCL, and had a complete. Something was going on my meniscus. I forgot what was going on, but I know it was a complete tear of my ACL. It wasn't fun, but it was just a hyperextend of my knee. It just went forward. His was like, his was almost Kevin Ware-ish. It was like, So there's probably ligaments and all types of nasty thing that's going on in there. So you hate to see that. I know Tyreek Hill's 17 children probably is happy about that though. So I think him being home with his family and his multiple baby mothers, that probably might be a good thing. He's still gonna get paid his money. He gonna be all right, but you'd never want to see somebody as explosive as this, as great of someone who's a big contributor to the game of football like this. And again, in a bad spot, you know what I mean? Like he went straight out to, you know what I'm saying? They took him, they put him right in the thing. So I'm about to show you, just by the way. Please click away if you don't even want to see the still of it, but I will show you. I'm not going to show you the video of it. I will show you the what's it called. And just real quick, this is some opinions from random people on Twitter that says MD. I don't trust anybody anymore on the internet, but this random dude impersonating or might be a real doctor says left knee fracture / dislocation similar to Tank Dell in 2024. Rest in peace. Big Diliante. Likely to be season ending depending on the specifics of the ligament damage, ACL, MCL, LCL. Shame. All right, look away if you don't want to see this photo. All right, we're here. Get up out of here. It's about to be like ew. I don't like that. All right, let's get up out of here. Now we could talk about the actual game. Now, shout out to Justin Fields. Credits to Justin Fields, because if you just look at the stats, 20 for 27 doesn't look that bad. Let's not talk about the fact that he put the pill on the floor. Let's not talk about the fact that sometimes he was looking a little weird. And also, most of the time, he was throwing out meatballs. He was throwing meatball sandwiches out there. I was like, are the balls getting batted every time he throws the pat? Because they were just like, forget a duck. Them things was dragons. He was throwing ham sandwiches on dragons. It was distracting how uncatchable some of those balls were. I had no idea you could throw something like that. But hey, 20 for 27, 226, one touchdown. You know what I'm saying? He threw for 200 yards. So you're going to be mad at the guy. And then he was the leading rusher. And I want to point this out. Leading rusher in a game where the Jets really started off having a really powerful run game. And this is where the bad football comes, because the first two drives, it's like, oh, okay. And then the Jets come and they're running, and then they're running some more. And then guess what? They're running some more. Justin Fields is taking off. He was being a little more decisive with his legs. I'm a Justin Fields truther. I don't actually think he's a capable quarterback in the NFL, but I'm hoping he proves me wrong. I'm really hoping, because he's not. And he showed that it really showed how elementary and how handicapped this offense was because of Justin Fields. They didn't lose the game because of Justin Fields, but Justin Fields is the reason they lost. And let me explain this. Because they didn't have a reliable option to go for 3rd and long, they were fighting to get to 3rd and manageables more than they were to actually push the ball down the field, right? The biggest, most explosive play was Justin Fields on a broken play where he does what he does best, right? Gets nasty with the scramble and goes with like 50 yards for the touchdown, right? But you were watching early on, the running was very methodical, and obviously Braylon Allen, that's tough. They were really, when Braylon Allen got injured, the offensive, the game plan just completely went out the window, right? The idea was, hey, we got 3 running backs and we have 2 great ones, Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, and we're just gonna feed them. I mean, he was already Braylon Allen was already 4 carries for 26. He was looking pretty effective as well. And obviously, y'all know what Breece Hall does. He had to kind of take over the reins, 14 for 81, and then obviously Justin Fields, most of that is going to be on the big pass. But early on, it was like, oh, okay, so they're just going to continue to just feed every other running back, and we're just going to be inventive, effective, use Justin Fields' legs as a threat to hopefully stall out some people, right? Give them some simple passes. So the offensive coordinator basically said, hey, we're not going to put this game on Justin Fields' arm. And what that inevitably did is they lost because of that. They got into a hole that they couldn't get out of. And there was like a part where they started throwing. It was like, well, that's not that bad. But at that point, you've kind of given up what you're doing on the offensive side. Now, with all that being said, the reason why it makes it so awful and so boring and so bad is that you have that great first drive, and then you fumble on the one, which is not funny. That's actually pretty cool. It's pretty entertaining. But when I go back to these 13 penalties, anytime the Jets did look decent, like, oh, okay, they moving it this time. Holding. False start, holding. They were like in the red zone, and then they backed up. It was like 3rd and 27. I'm like, it goes from, oh, this is funny to, yo, what? Like, I don't want to watch a bunch of people who get paid millions of dollars not do the basics. We're not talking about, and we're talking, we are talking about, what's it called? Unsportsmanlike penalty, roughing the pass, like, I'm not roughing the passer, excessive roughing, what's that penalty called? I forgot, but you know what I'm talking about. Hitting after the whistle, all that craziness. And it's like, yo, what, at what point does this go from, oh, this is crazy, they're getting so many penalties, to, can we watch the foot? Like, I mean, I kind of want to see, can Justin Fields cook as much as, you know what I'm saying? I would love to just put this on Justin Fields. I can't, like I said, I'm not putting it on him. I'm putting it on the offensive coordinator's ineffectiveness to make more explosive plays happen when your plan A was taken immediately. Because Braylon Allen was injured in the second, and then not only that, then he fumbles on the first. So that was just, it was a bad omen for Braylon Allen. Like it just wasn't working for him, right? Now you didn't, Garrett Wilson was kind of a non-factor again because of the issues with Justin Fields. He loved him some Mason Taylor. He loved hitting Mason Taylor. He loved dropping it down to Breece Hall. And that's not, again, I'm not knocking Justin Fields. It's the truth of what he is. His ability, and smartly so from the offensive coordinator, his threat to defense is his legs. So they were using that effectively. Hey, we're going to... Let's set up for a read option, right? Let's set up and get some motion. Let's get them on in motion. Let's get the eyes moving. Let's get Garrett Wilson in motion and then hand it off. Like I felt like if everything went well, Breece Hall and Braylon Allen have a combined, or they at least have 15, 14 touches each. Like I think that was the plan in the way that it happened. And, Justin Fields really couldn't do anything to elevate beyond that. And more importantly, I don't think the offensive coordinator was trustworthy of that. And then even another part of that, even when you looked good, Lord have mercy on those penalties. Now to the Miami side, obviously you lose Tyreek Hill theoretically for the season. A-Chain, hey, I'm an A-Chain believer. I think he's dog. I think he's an absolute dog, and he was doing what he needed to do when he needed to get do. That's crazy. He had 6 for 67 already. That's what really makes the Tyreek Hill injury so bad. It felt like, the Miami Dolphins, they're about to get going, right? That Tua had this behind the back flip. Tua had his swagger back. It was like for a whole day of him battling with Cam Newton and all this other back and forth, like it was a lot of nastiness associated with Tua over this weekend. It seemed like he just came in and oh hey, let's get to work, right? Let's put it out there. I'm gonna hit you with some classic. Mike McDaniels was in his back. Like it felt like a real statement game. So both of these teams leave with a bad taste in their mouth. I don't know, like. It's tough to get your first win of the season and also probably be in an awful position because you lose the most explosive player, the player that led in the receiving yards at the end of the day and didn't even finish the game. Jalen Waddle needs, I don't know why, 3 receptions for 48 yards. Why did we stop going there? I don't know. I have no idea. I think that dude's good at football. Darren Waller, 3 for 27. A lot of inventiveness when it comes to the running game, obviously, or motions and different stuff like that, end arounds and stuff. I like the way they use Malik Washington. Where is he from? Y'all let me know down in the comment. What college is Malik Washington from? You're really trying to use him in the offense a lot. So again, quite boring, quite weird, and let's just talk about like. When I talk about like boring, and it's not just because, it's boring because there's penalties. It's like, do y'all fundamentally not know how to play football? Like, and people were made fun of Caleb Johnson because there's new kickoff rules, but at least the excuse is, hey, there are new kickoff rules. You're a rookie, blah, blah, blah. The Jets are fair catching punts at the 2 yard. Guys, like this is like, this is not like, third day install. This is like in a shorts. We're going to go over special teams period. And hey, anything past the motherfucking 10-yard line, run away. Just let it bounce in the end zone. Like who if you were going to return it, but you're going to fair catch it. Like, so it's nasty stuff like that. You can't fair catch at the 2. And then Justin Fields has to start this last drive to try to get them back in the game on the negative 2-yard line. Like, what's happening? So it felt like, for as much as I would love to say, oh, it's just this, it's just that, blah, blah, blah. No, it was the 13 penalty. So let's hear what the head coach had to say about it.
When it comes to the game today, very disappointing. Very disappointing. And there's no way you can win any game with 13 penalties and 3 turnovers. It just can't happen. But what we have to do is go back to work. We have to go back. That's the only way that we can fix it. Really take a look at these penalties, take a look at these turnovers, and make sure we understand that we have to understand before you can win games, you have to learn how not to lose games. And we have to do a better job in that case. And we will. We will. And again, the only way to do that is go back to work. And that's what we got to do.
Man, Aaron Glenn, and it's Ben Johnson has a decent start so far, but hey man, you could have been chilling with the Detroit Lions, but now you got to do. I do think, and we yelled at Rex Ryan, but we have fun around here. I do think the Jets are cursed. I think the Jets, the Browns, and the Bengals are cursed organizations, and I don't even care who you put out at the helm. It's not going to get any better. I do want to show you this just because this was fresh. By the way, Garrett Wilson, good at football. I don't know if y'all knew that. Good at football. I don't know how you can. I mean, the dude's got he's elbowing Vince Carter. I put my in the, you know what I'm saying, like. Vince Carter. And then he said, I don't care, I'm going to bobble it, and then I'm going to catch it. Some of these NFL players are freakazoids. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that if you threw me a Twinkie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't got it. All right, so another abysmal, boring, awful, terrible game. You got the Bengals who are starting a potato, like literally a baked potato at quarterback. I mean, this is what they said. What was going on? This is what they said. The arm angles that Jake Browning was pulling off, and I'm no Jake Browning hater, but we pulled up the statistics, and the Bengals did rank at one of the lowest in all of EPA per play, yards per play. Jake Browning was, but Joe Flacco and Geno Smith jumped over him. He was leading the league in interceptions, and he only had 2 starts. So remarkable stuff from Jake Browning. Today, he's only 12 for 23, 118. Real Jalen Hurts numbers, right? Real Jalen Hurts numbers, except you got no tush pushes. 3 carries for 4 yards. So you got to figure something out. Bo Nix is there another quarterback who has the training wheels more on? And I don't mean by like the coaching staff. I just mean by the way that he is allowed to just kind of scoot by and just be painfully mid. Hey, maybe he's just gonna have a sophomore slump. Do what you do, Bo Nix. But you spent 17 years in college football, and this is basically your 15th year. Sorry, this doesn't go too far. This is basically your 3rd year though. You don't get a sophomore slump if you played at 7 different colleges, right? Homeboy was at Auburn for 8 years and then Oregon for another 27. So it's not going to add up. Shout out J.K. Dobbins. Shout out R.J. Harvey for trying to act like he's a reasonable running back. Shout out UCF. And then I don't think there's anything positive going on around here with the Bengals. I mean, T. Higgins and Chase Brown. Imagine having these demons that you just paid all this money for, just demons. That you can't get the ball to, you can't keep your quarterback, your generational quarterback upright. You got Bengals fans turning on him. You had people asking, should the Bengals trade for Jameis Winston? Should they just end it, right? I mean, look at Jamar Chase. Look at Jamar Chase. Just I gotta talk to my guy. Yo, this is awful. This is terrible. Zach Taylor's like, I know we're bad. I know. So just an awful display of football. You also see, again, Tyreek Hill leaving. Gross. Congratulations to the Broncos. Bo Nix, figure it out. Aaron Glenn, you got a lot to figure out. But yeah, man, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your phenomenal evening. Like the video if you like it. Dislike if you don't. Subscribe if you like football content. Dislike if you don't like it. I already said that. Hit that bell icon to not miss anything. Continue to be great. If you watch this far, you're the best of the best, man. I'm very, very sad you have to watch this bad football, though. Peace.